The sun burned the dry fields like fire. Kofi stood barefoot in the cracked soil, holding a broken hoe. Sweat ran down his face, but the land gave him nothing. No rain, no crops, no hope. People passed his farm every day and laughed. "Poor man," they whispered. "He will die poor." But Kofi only smiled. At dawn, he worked. At night, he prayed. He cared for his sick mother and shared his last food with neighbors. Even when his stomach growled, he never stole. "God sees," he always said. That evening, the wind howled louder than usual. Birds flew away suddenly, like something bad was coming. On his way home through the forest path, Kofi heard a strange sound, a groan, weak, painful. He stopped walking. Again, "Help!" His heart pounded. No one used this road at night. Who could it be? He slowly stepped toward the bushes. Then he saw a man lying on the ground, covered in blood. Rich clothes, gold rings, but barely breathing. Kofi froze. Helping a stranger could mean trouble, but leaving him could mean death. He swallowed hard and bent down, because he did not know helping this man would change his life forever and destroy it. Kofi lifted the man onto his back. The stranger was heavy, but Kofi refused to stop. "Stay alive," he whispered. He carried him to his small hut. His mother gasped. "Who is he?" "I don't know," Kofi said, "but he will die if we do nothing." They cleaned the wounds, deep cuts, poison arrows. This was no accident. Someone wanted him dead. Kofi ran to Amma, the herbalist. She brought leaves and roots. They worked all night, grinding, boiling, praying. At midnight, the stranger opened his eyes, strong eyes, not ordinary. "Where am I?" he asked. "My home," Kofi said gently. "You are safe." The man studied him. "You helped me without knowing me?" "Yes." "Why?" Kofi shrugged. "Because it is right." The man said nothing more, but before sleeping, he held Kofi's wrist. "If I live," he whispered, "your life will change forever." Kofi smiled. He thought it was fever talk. Outside, horses thundered past the village. Soldiers. Searching. And they were calling one name loudly. "The king!" Kofi's blood turned cold. The man on his mat. Could it be? Morning light slipped through the cracks of Kofi's small hut. The rooster crowed, and smoke from cooking fires rose into the air. Inside, the stranger finally sat up. His wounds were wrapped with fresh herbs. His breathing was stronger. Amma handed him warm water. "Drink slowly," she said. The man obeyed. Then he looked around the hut, the mud walls, the torn mat, the empty food bowl. "This is how you live?" he asked quietly. Kofi nodded. "It is enough." The stranger watched him carefully, like he was trying to understand something strange. Suddenly, loud noises exploded outside. Hooves, armor, voices. "Search every house! Find the king!" Kofi's heart jumped. The stranger stood too fast, wincing in pain. Soldiers burst through the door. They froze, then dropped to their knees. "My king!" The air went silent. Kofi's head spun. King? The wounded man slowly straightened his back. His voice became strong and commanding. "Yes, it is me." Every soldier bowed deeper. Amma gasped. Kofi stumbled backward. He had been feeding the king? The king turned to the soldiers. "This young man saved my life. Without him, I would be dead." All eyes moved to Kofi. Some looked grateful, others suspicious. A tall soldier stepped forward. "Your Majesty, Chief Badu ordered us to bring anyone who touched you to the palace for questioning." Questioning? Kofi felt fear crawl up his spine. The king looked at him and said softly, "Do not worry, you will be rewarded." But the way the soldiers tied his hands did not feel like a reward. Kofi had never seen so much gold in his life. The palace walls shone like the sun. Floors were smooth like mirrors. Guards stood tall like statues. His dusty feet felt ashamed. People stared. Is that the farmer? He touched the king? How strange. They led him into the throne hall. Chiefs sat in fine robes, necklaces sparkled, rings flashed. At the center stood Chief Badu, tall, fat, eyes sharp like a snake's. He smiled, but not kindly. "So you are the boy," Badu said slowly. Kofi bowed. "Yes, sir." "You claim you saved the king?" "I only helped him, nothing more." Badu circled him like a hunter. "Poor people don't help for free," he said. "What did you steal?" Kofi blinked. "Steal?" Before he could speak again, the king entered. Everyone knelt. "My life belongs to this farmer," the king declared. "Prepare gifts for him, land, cattle, and silver." Gasps filled the room, but Badu's smile disappeared. His eyes burned, jealous, dangerous. Later that night, as Kofi slept in a guest room, guards suddenly kicked the door open. "Get up!" Cold metal cuffs snapped on his wrists. "What did I do?" he cried. A guard whispered darkly, "They found gold under your bed." Kofi froze. Gold? But he had never... Someone had planted it, and he knew exactly who. The hall felt colder than before. Chains clinked around Kofi's wrists. The same people who praised him yesterday now stared with disgust. Chief Badu stepped forward holding a bag of gold coins. "This," he announced loudly, "was found hidden in his room." Gasps spread like fire. "He tried to rob the palace. A thief!" Kofi shook his head wildly. "No, I swear, I didn't touch it." But no one listened. Badu's voice grew louder. "He pretended to save the king only to gain access to steal royal treasure." "That's a lie," Kofi shouted. The king frowned. "Are you certain, Chief Badu?" "My guards saw themselves." The guards nodded, too quickly, too rehearsed. Kofi looked around desperately. Amma was not there. No one spoke for him. He fell to his knees. "Your Majesty, I am poor, yes, but I am not a thief. I would rather starve than steal." For a moment, the king hesitated. Then Badu whispered something into his ear. The king's face hardened. "Until we know the truth," he said slowly, "put him in prison." The words hit harder than a slap. Guards dragged Kofi away. As the heavy iron door slammed shut behind him, darkness swallowed everything. From far down the corridor, he heard Chief Badu laugh softly. That laugh chilled his blood, because it sounded like a man who had already won. The prison smelled of rot and sorrow. Rats ran freely. Water dripped endlessly. Kofi sat on the cold floor, hugging his knees. He replayed everything, helping the stranger, saving his life, and now this. "Is this how good deeds end?" he whispered. Days passed. Little food, no sunlight. Other prisoners muttered stories of false accusations. "Powerful men always win," one old man said. "Poor men disappear." Kofi closed his eyes. Maybe they were right. Maybe honesty was useless. But then he remembered his mother's voice. "Never stop being good, my son. God sees what people don't." Tears filled his eyes. Outside the bars, footsteps approached. A soft whisper came. "Kofi." He looked up. "Amma." She pushed food through the bars. "I know you didn't do it," she said firmly. "Then prove it," he begged. She nodded. "I will find the truth." "How?" She smiled. "Even snakes leave tracks." As she walked away, a guard stepped out of the shadows, watching her, listening. And somewhere in the palace, Chief Badu received a message. "The girl is asking questions." His eyes darkened. "Then stop her," he said coldly, "before she finds something she shouldn't." Amma searched quietly. She talked to servants, guards, cooks. Most were afraid, but fear makes people talk at night. One young guard finally whispered, "Chief Badu gave us the gold, told us to hide it." Amma's heart raced. "Why?" "He said the farmer must disappear." She hurried away. Behind the storage rooms, she noticed something strange. Fresh footprints, heavy boxes. She followed them. Inside a locked room, stacks of gold. More gold than the palace treasury. Hidden, stolen. This was the real theft. Badu had been stealing for years, and Kofi was just a sacrifice. Suddenly, a hand covered her mouth. A knife touched her neck. "You ask too many questions," a voice hissed. It was one of Badu's guards. Amma struggled, but he dragged her toward the darkness. If she disappeared, no one would ever save Kofi. Amma escaped by biting the guard's hand and running through the market. Bleeding but alive, she rushed straight to the king. She burst into the court. "Stop the trial." Everyone stared. Chief Badu scowled. "This girl is mad," he said. Amma threw a small cloth bag onto the floor. Gold coins spilled out. "With the chief's mark!" she shouted. Murmurs grew louder. "I found a hidden room full of stolen treasure." The king's eyes widened. Badu laughed nervously. "Lies." "Then search," Amma challenged. Silence. The king ordered guards immediately. Minutes felt like years. Kofi stood chained in the center, waiting, sweating, praying. Finally, the guards returned, faces pale. "It's true, Your Majesty. A secret store of gold, marked with the chief's seal." The hall exploded with shock. Badu's smile vanished. He stepped back slowly. "No, this is a trick." But soldiers grabbed him. For the first time, fear showed in his eyes. The king turned to Kofi. Shame filled his face. But before he spoke, another guard rushed in, shouting, "Your Majesty, more stolen gold has been found inside the chief's house." The truth was spilling fast, and Badu knew he was finished. Chief Badu tried to run, but chains caught him, just like Kofi's. How quickly power changes. The king's voice thundered. "You betrayed the crown and blamed an innocent man." Badu screamed, "He's poor. No one would believe him." Those words echoed through the hall. Cold, cruel, true. Until now. The king walked to Kofi himself. He removed the chains. "I wronged you," he said quietly. The entire court watched. "I doubted the man who saved my life." Kofi rubbed his wrists. He felt no anger, only sadness. "I only wanted to help," he said. The king nodded. "And you did, more than anyone here." Badu was dragged away, shouting curses, but no one listened. The snake had lost its fangs. Still, as he passed Kofi, Badu whispered, "Poor men never stay safe for long." The words lingered like a warning. Even though he was free, was the danger truly over? The village gathered as drums played. The king stood beside Kofi in the open square. "For saving my life," he declared, "and for his honesty, I gift him land, cattle, and a house." Cheers rose, but Kofi only bowed. "I thank you, my king, but allow me one request. Speak. Use some of this wealth to help the poor farmers too. No one should suffer like we did." The king smiled. "A man who thinks of others deserves everything." Months later, green crops filled the fields. Children laughed. Amma opened a small clinic. Kofi built a bigger home for his mother. Yet he stayed humble, still farming, still helping, because he learned something powerful. Goodness may suffer, truth may be delayed, but lies always fall. One evening, as the sun set red across the land, a Ma asked, "After everything, would you still save the king?" Kofi smiled softly. "Yes, because who I am matters more than what happens to me." And the wind carried his words across the fields. Moral lesson: when your heart is clean, even false accusations cannot bury the truth. Good deeds may be tested, but honesty always wins in the end. Thank you so much for watching this story all the way to the end. Your time means more than you know. Stories like this remind us that kindness still matters, that truth still wins, and that even the smallest person can change the world. If this story touched your heart or taught you something, please don't keep it to yourself. Like this video, share it with someone who needs this message, and subscribe to the channel for more powerful African tales and life lessons. That's the only way you truly support me and help these stories reach more people. Thank you for being here. See you in the next story.